Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review the new movie from director Bong Joon-ho, who directed the Oscar-winning film Parasite. Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson, Stephen Yeun, Michael Monroe, Naomi, Ackie, and Mark Ruffalo. Mickey 17, so this is a sci-fi comedy satire. Mickey 17, known as an expendable, goes on a dangerous journey to colonize an ice planet. So Mickey 17, I was a big fan of Bong Joon-ho after watching Parasite. I really liked Parasite. Watch my review for details about that. I've not seen any of his other movies, but I was willing to give this a shot. I am very sad to inform you that I wasn't really a big fan of this movie. I don't know what I was really expecting from the trailers, but I did not expect the movie that I got. Mickey 17 is, for me, a very disappointing film. Maybe I'm not the intended audience for the movie, and but trust me when I say, I was sitting there watching this film, trying to understand what was going on, and to me, this movie is jumbled. The script is it's cluttered, it's bloated. Now, maybe it might not be a bad script for some people, but for me, I struggle to see a through line with this story. For me, there's just so many different ideas in this movie that the script, to me anyway, felt like a first draft, and it really needed to be thinned out and ironed out, because this film is baggy as hell. It's so weighted, it's so baggy that it almost feels like it's a shoulder to try and carry this film up the mountain, and it just feels like an endless struggle to get through it. I sat there many times during this film bored because I didn't understand what was going on, and the movie took too long to get going, and it is too long. It is too long. At 2 hours 17 minutes. It did not need to be this long. So with the script, we have loads of different ideas. We've obviously got the sci-fi element, the satirical comedy element. There's various different things in this film. So Mark Ruffalo's character is clearly meant to be a representation of Donald Trump. So there are definitely some political undertones to this plot, as well as some religious undertones. Then there's stuff involving these creatures that they find on this planet, which, of course, the humans are the aliens, and they find these creatures and discover them. And then there's Mickey's story about how he keeps having to die as part of his contracted job. And then when he sees a duplicate of himself, he doesn't know quite how to deal with that. And the film doesn't quite know how to deal with that, because it's supposed to be a rule that they're not allowed duplicates in this company. But I'm struggling to comprehend this movie. There's so many plot elements, and I'm really struggling to understand it. I'm sitting there thinking, what is going on in this film? What is actually going on? This film dragged so much. It dragged so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks great. The acting is very good. But most of the characters in this movie are so dull and uninteresting. I've already talked a little bit about Mark Ruffalo as Kenneth Marshall, and Mark Ruffalo is quite good when he's hammy sometimes, but here I didn't really care too much for his character. And like I said, you know, you'll probably notice the Trump-isms throughout his performance, and a lot of the time it's just very over the top. The whole tone of this movie is very strange. It is just so weird. I mean, knowingly so. It makes no apologies for being crazy, but this whole weird tone just didn't really work for me, and it didn't feel like the film really knew how to handle it along with the serious stuff. We've got Robert Pattinson, who is Mickey Barnes. He plays two versions of Mickey, really. So Mickey 17 obviously being the main protagonist. He's the protagonist. He's the one we're supposed to care about, and yet they almost kind of give up on his emotional journey halfway through. Once we get the duplicate, more things start to happen. And then towards the end, it almost is like the film is trying to focus on its other ideas about the politics, and then the creatures, and then the religion, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's getting very cluttered here. It's just too much in this movie. There's too much in this script, and it certainly needs to be tightened. And I didn't even care for Mickey's relationship with Nasha, played by Naomi Ackie. She was a weightless character as well. She's a love interest. And then midway through the film, they tried to introduce a love triangle, or square, with a character called Kai. When are you going to stop throwing things in this movie? This movie is so in your face. It just throws stuff at you. And sometimes I don't know what the hell to make of it. It washed over me. And I sat there so confused throughout the whole thing. So confused. It is well acted. I do like the acting, and I think that they do a good job with each other. But the individual characters, as I've said, have very little chemistry. I just gave up caring about Mickey as a character. I kind of thought when Mickey 18 came along, there was something a bit more dynamic there. There was a bit more intrigue. But Mickey's 17 as a protagonist, he doesn't really grow. He doesn't really change from the beginning to the end. I mean, only in the sense that he realizes how futile his previous existences were and how he doesn't want to keep dying all the time. Aside that, there's not much really going for this character, and that's nothing to do with Robert Pattinson. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just think Bong Joon-ho really missed the mark here with the writing. I think the writing is so cluttered with ideas that are more like political, you know, religious, all of that stuff, that the main story thread really got lost for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad, I don't think it's awful, but I was expecting something slightly better than this. Like I said, Naomi Ackie does a good job with what she has, but her character is there for sex scenes, pretty much. She's there to be a love interest, and then she's there to join the fight with Mickey and then join the council and something like that. I think the score is very good. I do like the opening soundtrack and all of the music, and the look of the space shuttle station and the planet, and the visual style of the movie is very good. But there's definitely some tonal conflicts here. When the movie tries to be serious, the weird stuff really gets in the way, and then when it tries to be weird, it then tries to do that with a serious tone. So the tone is, it's like a hamster wheel. The tone, it just goes all over the place, and I guess I found the film kind of uncomfortable to watch because of that, because I couldn't pinpoint how I was supposed to feel at what point. And the third act really also dragged for me as well, when they go out to find the creatures and take down Marshall. I sort of lost why we were going there, and then the end of the movie confuses me as well. I might have missed something, but from memory, the end of the film, when we had the epilogue, and then in between we have this kind of flashback dream sequence. I don't know if it is actually a dream sequence, but my friend Nick Payne, shout out to Nick Payne, my friend tried to suggest that that could be a possible, but the movie doesn't really clarify that. It's a shame that I had to, you know, I was sat next to my friend Nick Payne, bless him, and I was like, do you know what's going on? Because I don't. But the pacing is beyond the point of tedium. It's 2 hours, 17 minutes. It's not an action movie, which is fine. I'm okay with it being a comedy and being this kind of satire, you know, whatever political agendas you want to throw. Okay, fine, that's okay. But it feels like this film really lost the heart of its story because of the other ideas that it was trying to shove in. So I think sometimes throwing everything in the kitchen sink is not always a good idea. And to me, this movie would have been much better if they would have just solely focused on Mickey and his emotional journey about his existence. The other ideas can still be in there, but you need to water them down. I feel like the film's very heavy-handed with some of its political and religious ideas, and the comedy for me was very hit and miss. So I did laugh at a few bits, but I laughed more unintentionally than intentionally. You know, I don't know if the film really communicated its comedy very, very well. And same with the dramatic stuff. You kind of just lose sight of what to care about because it's so all over the place and it's so in your face. In some cases, it's kind of grotesque humor, not to the level of Babylon. I left very confused. I didn't know what to make of this movie. Maybe it's the style of his direction, and that's fine. You know, I fully respect him as a filmmaker still. I still think he's very talented. So I will always, you know, remember Parasite as being a much better entry than this. So to kind of roughly sum it up, I'm going to give Mickey 17 a 5 out of 10. It was all right. That's the best I could say. But to me, there really wasn't a lot there to gauge. But I might be in the minority, and that's fine. What do you think? Please comment down below. Let me know. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And I would want to give a shout out to not only Nick Payne, but also to a subscriber of mine called Ross, the movie reviewer. He did a review of this movie recently, and I'd like you to go and check out his channel. Really nice guy from Scotland. So he's got a good Scottish accent, and his reviews are really good. So please go and show him some support. And until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.